Alright, you wrongers. I've noticed I lose the subscribers every time I upload a 3ds Max tutorial. Everybody runs away, but it's all good. Don't worry, I'm still going to be doing some Blender stuff and some ZBrush stuff. I've been playing around with ZBrush. But anyway, enough of that. Let's jump in and quickly go through this quick animation I did. Right. Um, what I'm going to discuss is basically how I did the weighting of the object and also the secondary animation of the object. If you're after a step-by-step on exactly how I did this animation, um, this is not the tutorial for you. I'm just going to give you a kind of basic quick overview on how I did it. Let's have a look at it in its beauty. Let's have a look at it from different angles. So I'm reasonably proud of this animation. So I'm going to just talk about a couple of principles that are important if you, for example, if you're firing a weapon or you're going to hit someone or whatever. The first principle I'm going to talk about is what you want to do before there's a forward movement. There has to be a backward movement, and also it's good also to have an anticipation movement on it as well. So what I did here, if you look at animation, I've got he holds so it registers a bit, then he moves forward. See that? And then he moves forward. Then what I've done is I held it for a couple of frames. So he just registers. So it registers as a hold. And then boom, pulling the trigger. And that's him firing the weapon. And then I had it so with one hand swings down. Now as it goes down, because the weapon itself, the bazooka, is quite heavy. Because it's quite heavy, you gotta try and sell the animation. So if he just goes up, if his hand goes up really quickly, it means that the weapon's quite light. But because the weapon is quite heavy, I slowed it down so that the movement is slow on his shoulders, and then it goes back to his back to the normal cycle. So I'll play that again. If you look at the way he goes up quite slow. Now, another thing we talk about here is if you look at as a very last bit of the animation. Again, I did his hair very last, the ponytail last, and that was what I would suggest when you're doing anything like a head or hair, or even there's things dangling from his body or whatever. Like I don't know, if he was holding a belt with a I don't know a scarf or something on it. You do that animation very last because it's like a secondary animation, and then you add that because the rest of the body will. How do you do it? How do you explain it? Will tell you how the rest of for example, the head will tell you how the ponytail will move, or the torso. All the rest of the stuff will tell you how the secondary animation should be animated. So it's something that you tackle last. Another quick thing we talk about is before I did this animation, I actually did do thumbnails. Now, it is important to do thumbnails. Now, you don't have to do thumbnails that are really detailed or anything. I just usually do stick figure animations. So you just do very quick thumbnails, and then you can kind of work out roughly how what you're going to do in your animation. And then once you've got your thumbnails done, then you can put it into your 3D character. Now, you don't have to, if something's not working, don't be scared to change your thumbnails or whatever, because that's the whole point. The thumbnails are meant to be just quick, rough, sketching out your animation ideas so that you can get it right. Another thing I would suggest is, if you're serious about becoming an animator, is also maybe getting a full-length mirror and acting out your animation moves before you're going to do it. Because it's always good to have reference, but sometimes it's good to just, instead of scrolling through untold different footage, for you to just act it out yourself can be very, very quick. It's what the Disney animators used to do at the Disney studio, the old school Disney animators. Right, that's it for this tutorial. As I say, it wasn't meant to be a technical one. If you want a more technical biped setup or how I do some of my animations, maybe check out the walk cycle and the run cycle animation because I go through it a bit more technical. This is kind of just more of an overview on doing stuff. And again, you don't have to use 3ds Max or Blender or Maya to just get some of the ideas that I'm trying to get across in this to um, to put into action if you're using Maya or Blender, if you understand what I'm saying. Alright guys, you wrong'uns, I'm out of here. Remember, don't be a slave to the algorithm. I'm out. Laters.